Hey friend, welcome to my channel. So today in this video, I want to talk about being faithful and obedient to God, all while still feeling afraid. Have you ever felt like God was calling you to do something while fear was giving you all the reasons not to do it? Yeah, that was me not that long ago. That was my experience when I decided to post my first YouTube video. And through that experience, God taught me some pretty cool things. And that's what I want to share with you today. So, not that long ago, I posted my first video online. And if I'm being honest, I was terrified. I was so scared. I wasn't just a little bit unsure. I was overthinking and second guessing every part of it. I was worried about what people were going to think. I was worried about being judged. I even imagined people leaving crazy comments in the comment section. Like I imagined someone leaving those like laughing emojis in the comment section, just straight up laughing at me. And what made it so much harder for me was just simply not knowing what to expect after I hit post, right? I've never done it before. I've never posted on this platform before. A part of me wanted to wait until I felt confident, until I felt ready. But here's what I've been learning about God and about obedience. If I had waited for fear to disappear, I would have been waiting a really long time, right? I probably would have never have done it. And I think a lot of us live right there, right? I think a lot of us would call it wisdom to delay, to make sure all of our ducks are in a row before stepping forward, to make sure we had it all figured out before doing anything. But I don't think that's wisdom. I think that sometimes that's just fear wrapped up in a nicer name, you know? So after I posted the video, I was actually surprised by something. The fear didn't disappear instantly, but it did get smaller. Not because I suddenly became fearless, but because I realized something really simple. The worst case scenarios I had built up in my mind weren't happening. No one came after me the way I imagined they would. No one shamed me. No one embarrassed me. In fact, there were some brothers in Christ that actually gave me encouragement, and I thought that was pretty cool. So instead of feeling regret, I felt something I didn't really expect. I felt relieved. I felt proud of myself. And most importantly, I felt grateful to God. I felt so grateful that I had obeyed God, even while I was afraid. And in that moment, I realized something about fear itself. A lot of it grows in our minds. A lot of it grows in our imagination and in our anticipation. But when you actually step forward, it loses its power. It's so cool how that happens. And through that experience, God reminded me that He is trustworthy. And in a very personal way, He's gracious, He's kind, and He doesn't abandon us when we step out in faith. I also realized something I didn't expect to learn about myself. I am capable of doing really hard things in faith, not because I'm naturally confident, not because I always feel strong, but because obedience with God brings out this strength in me that I don't realize I have. And maybe that's something you need to hear too. I think sometimes we assume that fear means that we're doing something wrong or that we're letting God down in some way. But I'm learning that fear and obedience can exist in the same moment. You can trust God and still feel unsure about the calling He has on your life. You can love God and still feel nervous about what He has prepared for you. You can take a step of faith while still feeling like your faith is failing. And that doesn't disqualify you. Sometimes that's just how having faith is. Sometimes faith can be small. But our God is a wonder-working God. He can do such wondrous works through us when we have even the tiniest bit of faith. When I think about that, I think about Moses. When God called Moses to lead the Israelites out of Egypt, Moses wasn't confident. He was hesitant. He had questions. He had so many excuses. He told God he wasn't good enough. He said he wasn't good with words. He even asked God to send someone else. But God didn't change the assignment for Moses. He didn't wait for Moses to feel ready all of a sudden. Instead, God chose to walk with Moses through it. He equipped him and He reassured him of His power. And that encourages me because it reminds me that God isn't looking for perfect people. He's looking for willing ones, people who will trust Him enough to take the next step at least, even when they don't feel qualified. And maybe that's where you are too, right? Maybe God has been placing something on your heart to start something up, start something new, to speak up for what's right, to forgive someone, to share your faith in Jesus to somebody who needs to hear it. Maybe He's calling you to step into something that feels way bigger than you. And fear keeps on chatting. Fear is saying, wait until you're ready, wait until you feel confident, wait until you're not afraid anymore. But what if that moment never fully comes? Then what? What if obedience is choosing to move with God even before all your fears are settled? When I look back at myself the day before I posted the video, I know exactly what I would say to her. I know what I would say to her. I'd say, Nicole, you have one life. And it's a good thing to act on the desire God has placed on your heart, to reach people for Jesus. It's not something to be ashamed of. It's not something to shrink back from. It is good to put yourself out there for the glory of God. And by doing the thing that scares you, you're showing that you love God more than you fear man. So do it. Trust Him. Obey Him. And rejoice in Him. Rejoice in the fact that God's not looking for perfect people. Rejoice in the fact that you don't have to be perfectly confident. Rejoice in the fact that God is looking for willing hearts. And I think that's what I've really learned through all of this. I don't think posting that video made me brave, but I do think that it simply gave me a moment to decide what mattered to me more. The opinion of people I may never even meet, or the voice of God over my life. And every time we choose obedience, we're standing in that moment. We're saying, Lord, I love you more than I fear what anyone else might think. And I think that's where real freedom begins. Thank you for watching. Thank you for spending time with me. That's all I got for you. God bless you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.